Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. Today we're going to take a few minutes to talk about something I really don't talk about all that much, and that is opening the vault. And one of the reasons I don't talk about it very much is because I know a lot of the folks watching my videos are doing so as new players. And in fact, I make most of my videos from the perspective of someone who is in their first year on MTG Arena. And really, opening the vault is hard to do that first year because almost every card you get is new and unique and not contributing to your vault open. You usually don't open the vault until you're kind of coasting into that second year. I, on the other hand, this will be the third time that I've opened the vault this budget year. So basically, since fall rotation, this will be the third time. And I'm already 30% towards a fourth opening for the year, which I think will be a record for myself. Always pretty darn nice.
But before we get into all that, I've set a goal here for the channel to get to 100 subscribers. And while that does not seem like a lofty goal, I can't do it without you. So if you're finding any sort of technical value, any sort of entertainment value, or just are a giving sort of soul, please take a moment and subscribe to the channel. And again, if you're seeing the value, others probably will too. So be sure to push this out to a friend who may or may not play Arena yet, because hopefully my content is just the sort of thing that beginners need in order to get a leg up on the environment. And here we are, just a couple months into that goal, and we are already over halfway. That's right, at the time of this recording, we have hit 51 subs, and our goal was to hit 100 by the end of the year. So, hurrah to us. I'm considering this a major success and victory, and I just want to take a moment to thank all of you out there who have assisted with this, particularly those folks that you see on our screen, our subscribers who have taken the initiative not only to subscribe to the channel, but also made their subscription public. So thank you to each and every one of you. If you have chosen to keep your subscription private, I respect that. And I'm so glad to have you here. And while I have your attention, don't forget to tap the notification bell and make sure that you are being notified of all the possible content that we're bringing out there to you, so you never miss out on a thing.
So without further ado, let's open the vault. Once you're able to do so, you'll see this chest appearing in your upper right-hand corner of your arena screen. It will tell you your vault percentage as well as the rewards that you get. And once you click on it, a magical thing happens. You get some wild cards. So you get 1 mythic, 2 rare, 3 uncommons. And those basically just get added straight to your pool there. As you can see, I've got quite a few wild cards saved up as a budget player. But what I recommend you do when you open the vault is then take a look at your historic collection and your historic decks. If you are in your first year, you might not have any dedicated historic decks. They're probably just clones of your standard decks with a few budget historic cards added in. But as you get into year 2 or year 3, etc., you will start to build up a historic deck collection. And this is where I suggest that you invest those wild cards from opening the vault. Because a mythic and historic will continue to get played for years and years and years, whereas a mythic and standard might only be good for a year or 2 on the outside. The main decks right now in historic is Muxus Goblins, as well as historic elves, and I do plan on upping my positions in these 2 decks and making my versions of the deck better by adding those wild cards in. But a lot of those decks actually are built around cards from the Jumpstart edition. And those of you who may not know, in just a few days, on June 4th, they're going to be reopening Jumpstart. And that is going to become my limited of choice for the month of June. You're going to be seeing a lot of content on Jumpstart here over the next few weeks. So I don't want to invest my wild cards into those decks because I know I may be opening those through the Jumpstart events. Instead, what I am going to do is show you this lovely little deck. This is probably not something that you necessarily want to invest in if this is your first year. The reason being is very much of this deck is built around the M20 set. And if you weren't here to draft it and open it, this becomes a very not budget friendly deck, as it would be almost all wild cards for you. Some of the few exceptions being Chandra's Pyreling, which I'm sure you already have. We did add a Chandra Acolyte of Flame to our historic collection earlier in the year. And I think Bolt Hound and Raid Bombardment. You're given 2 of those in your new player experience, and we burned 2 wildcards to make a complete play set. Beyond that, things like Fabled Passages and your Triomes you may have collected, and of course things like your basic lands. But other than that, you're probably looking at 20 or so wild cards, if not more, to make this deck happen. So probably not really budget friendly in the short term. It is something very cool to start building. In the long term, it's a very fun deck. And the only things I'm missing are 3 copies of Risen Reef. This was kind of the chase uncommon in M21, and I just never did get a full playset. So what I am going to be doing here is crafting those up. I'm actually investing 4 uncommons because I'm going to get another copy of Unclaimed Territory. This is a fantastic uncommon for tribal decks, and something I highly recommend start adding to your collection when you have the wildcard availability. This may not be the right time because this particular budget year is not very tribal friendly. But for me, it is a great investment right now. So we are going to go ahead and put those in. As you can see here, the deck is actually built around Cavalcade of Calamity, which is very similar in effect to Raid Bombardment. In fact, most people are calling Raid Bombardment a fixed Cavalcade of Calamity because Cavalcade of Calamity was stupid broken and made for the most ridiculous budget deck last year. We have added a copy of Scorch Spitter to our collection. It goes very nicely with Raid Bombardment and Cavalcade of Calamity. We have recently added a copy of Collected Company to our collection for historic purposes. This card is very easily defining historic at the moment. Almost anyone who can is sandwiching that card into any deck they possibly can. Some of the other additions here are Chandra's Spitfire, which is very similar to Pyreling, if not a little bit more powerful. Another great card here is Light Up the Stage. Spectacle, if you're not familiar with it, if you have dealt damage to your opponent, you can pay the Spectacle cost instead of the converted normal mana cost. This allows you to draw 2 cards. Card draw in red is not bad at all, folks. But the card that really makes this tick, and the whole reason it's not just a mono red deck, is the Risen Reef. Whenever Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it into the battlefield. If you don't put the card into the battlefield, i.e. it's not a land, put it into your hand. Card draw, card draw, card draw, card draw. And essentially every creature in this is an elemental. It just gets insanely stupid. So we're going to take this for a little spin here, and I can't remember if I can use historic decks in. Yes, I can take it up against Sparky, just to kind of show you what the deck can do. Of course, Sparky is not a real opponent, so this isn't a real test of the deck. but it will showcase some of what's going on here. A pretty decent opening hand here, not bad at all. We will keepy. Let's see, I'm going to lead off with the Mountain and go with Scorch Spitter. And I am going to pay the 2 life because I want to get that Pyreling out before I start dropping the Raid Bombardment. We will say no attacks here. Ooh, pacifism. Hurting so bad. Very terrible. We will go ahead and pay the 2 life to get that out, and we will get out the Spitfire here. And we will attack since they left themselves open. If I was playing against a real opponent, I might not have done that there. Because I don't want them to necessarily see the trick that's going on with these cards. Well, they're just gonna walk into that, huh? We'll block just cause. There we go. Now, do I want to pay the life here? I am going to say no, and we will put out the bombardment. And we will attack, even though we're going to lose our Scorch Spitter. The amount that we're going to pick up on the Spitfire is just obscene. Yep, that's right. It was a 10-3 flyer there, folks. Not too bad. They're bringing out the Charm Stray. I literally don't care about that damage. And I think this is probably the death bell right here. Pretty nice, pretty fast. You can see this comes together very nicely.
Wait, what's that? You didn't catch all that? Well, Matt wants you to know the links are in the doobly-doo. And with all that having been said, please take this opportunity to like, comment, and subscribe. It is the budget way to support this budget channel because it doesn't cost you a thing. Do it for Graham. Do it for the algorithm. Do it for the iced coffee. And until next time, I'll see you in the arena.